Sean Diddy Combs, who also goes by the name Puff Daddy, was taken into federal custody on September 16, 2024. He was taken into custody from the Park Hyatt Hotel in New York City after a grand jury indictment. He is facing 3 felony charges, including racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion, and transportation to engage in. But before his arrest, P. Diddy reigned over Hollywood with his signature flair. But now, people are starting to question whether all his success was truly earned through talent, or if he took it from someone else's hands along the way. Why once everyone's favorite rapper, who was known for his lavish parties, has now become the nuisance for almost every celebrity in the Hollywood world? Who fought Diddy in court despite being offered millions to keep quiet? And what was happening in the so-called freak-offs parties of Diddy? Why everyone is running away from Diddy? These are the few questions that are being answered in this video. But before we move ahead in this video, subscribe to Sinister Syndicate. Done? Okay, let's start this video. Cassandra Ventura. This dark world of Diddy was introduced to the world through Cassie's lawsuit. In November 2023, the singer Cassie, real name Cassandra Ventura, filed an explosive federal lawsuit against her former partner, Sean Diddy Combs, claiming he had been physically and sexually abusive throughout their relationship. The complaint alleged that Combs' abuse ranged from beating Ventura and forcing her to have sex with other men, her at her home in 2018. The rapper settled the lawsuit within a day, but since then, 8 more women and 2 men have sued Combs, accusing him of a wide range of abusive behavior, including sexual harassment, non-consensual, and sex trafficking. The situation escalated in March when federal agents raided Combs' properties in Miami and Los Angeles. And then, on September 16th, federal agents arrested Combs at a Manhattan hotel following a grand jury indictment. The music mogul was charged with racketeering and sex trafficking, to which he pleaded not guilty. A judge ruled that he be held without bail until trial. Another suit just like Cassie's was filed by the producer, Rodney Lil Rod Jones, filed his original lawsuit against Combs and others in February, alleging that Combs forced him to procure sex workers and pressured him to engage in unwelcome sex acts with them. The amended suit alleges that Gooding groped Jones while on Combs' yacht. After Cassie came forward with the suit, 2 other women, Liza Gardner and Joy Dickerson Neal, have also alleged in lawsuits that Combs sexually assaulted them. Moreover, soon a 4th woman has accused Sean Diddy Combs of sexual assault, alleging in a lawsuit that when she was a teen, she was gang and sex trafficked by the music mogul, along with Harve Pierre, a former longtime president of his record label, and an unnamed individual. Combs denied any wrongdoing in a statement Wednesday, starting off with, "Enough is enough. For the last couple of weeks I have sat silently and watched people try to assassinate my character, destroy my reputation, and my legacy," he said. "Sickening allegations have been made against me by individuals looking for a quick payday." He added, "Let me be absolutely clear. I did not do any of the awful things being alleged. I will fight for my name, my family, and for the truth." In the most recent suit, Doe alleges that she met Pierre, the longtime president of Bad Boy, the record label Combs, founded in the early 1990s, in 2003 at a lounge in the Detroit area when she was 17 and in 11th grade. The suit says that Pierre complimented her and then began talking about Combs, whom he described as his best friend, eventually calling Combs to introduce him to Doe. Pierre is no longer employed at Bad Boy. Mr. Combs convinced Ms. Doe, who was half his age at the time, to accompany Mr. Pierre and the third assailant on a private jet to come to his studio in New York City, the suit alleges. Before they left for the private jet, the suit alleges that Pierre smoked crack the lounge and forced Doe to perform oral sex on him. They then traveled from Detroit to New Jersey with the 3rd defendant, who is identified in the suit as the 3rd assailant, as well as another unnamed person, the suit alleges, where they were driven to Daddy's House Recording Studio, a studio famously owned and operated by Mr. Combs and Bad Boy. However, the whole case of sex trafficking and the involvement of children in Diddy's life is somewhere connected to one common event, which was Diddy's freak-off parties. White parties or freak-off parties.
What time would your party start, let's say?
Like 9:30.
Really? That early?
Yeah.
I could make that.
Yeah.
But I could think of you of starting a party at like midnight. Like what time will it go till?
That's a different type of party.
Uh-huh.
It'll go from like 9:30 to like maybe 3 o'clock, 3 o'clock. And then, you know, we have the top 2 floors of the hotel.
Mm-hmm. And then it will carry on there?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, I mean the after party.
No, I know about them.
This was an important Justin Bieber song that explains the horrors of a Diddy party. Earlier, you may have not seen this song from this angle, but this time, listen to the lyrics carefully. Now you kinda have an idea of what was taking place at Diddy's party. The recently recorded video of Diddy's neighbor appeared in the internet, and it definitely came as a shock for the people who didn't know the intensity of his freakiness. Adult entertainer Adria Sherry English, who filed a lawsuit against the rapper, said she was hired as a dancer at the extravagant white parties in the early 2000s and claimed she was forced into participating in explicit activities there. English said the notorious parties with an all-white dress code were exclusive events hosted by the rapper at the Hamptons, an affluent New York seaside neighborhood frequented by the rich and famous. Photographs from the parties that began in the 1990s have surfaced online amid the allegations against the rapper, with some showing topless women dancing while surrounded by bottles of liquor. English alleged that beyond the exterior of the lavish events lay a darker reality marred by forced sexual encounters. She said she was coerced by Diddy's immense power and felt that if she did not comply, the music mogul would ruin her music career, which he promised he would help her build. In her lawsuit, she stated that drugs and alcohol were used to lower the inhibitions of all participants, both willing and unwilling. She said specific alcohol bottles were spiked with illicit substances and offered to women at the parties. Kardashians too have seemingly shared details about attending a Diddy party in an August 2014 episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. So, who was with you this weekend? Kourtney Kardashian asked Khloe about her weekend in Las Vegas, and she says this: defined by its strict dress code, Diddy's white party demanded guests dress in all white, with party decor also fitting the white theme. Diddy would later tell Oprah Winfrey in 2006 that this was to strip away everyone's image and put us all in the same color and on the same level. Famed for the mixed guest list of old money New Yorkers with Hamptons homes and members of Diddy's music circles, Diddy once described the parties as breaking down racial barriers, breaking down generation barriers. Over the years, it could be said that everyone who's anyone attended Diddy's white party in one year or another. Actors, musicians, models, socialites, and more flocked to the event if they were lucky enough to score an invite. Aretha Franklin, Jay-Z, Beyonce, Kim Kardashian, Kourtney Kardashian, Will Smith, Jennifer Lopez, Aaliyah, Naomi Campbell, Paris Hilton, Sarah Jessica Parker, Leonardo DiCaprio, Ashton Kutcher, all reportedly attended the white party at one point. The parties were a famously eclectic crowd, mixing celebrities and non-famous folk from the music industry and beyond. These freak-off parties have some special drinks that contain few special mixtures, which Jaguar Wright explained in one of her interviews. In another interview, the singer Usher, who stayed with P. Diddy under Puffy Flavor Camp, explained what he had seen in the Diddy's house. At that time, Usher was just 14 years old, and the way he described the environment shows that something was wrong. Usher also says that he would not let his children attend the P. Diddy's party, which also explains a lot about the Diddy's Flavor Camp sweetness. Usher was said to be both victim and accomplice of P. Diddy, but the question is, what brought him under the roof of Puff Daddy? At 13, Usher met AJ Alexander, Bobby Brown's bodyguard, at a local talent show in Atlanta. Alexander recognized Usher's talent and helped him by having him perform at different local events and talent shows. He later introduced Usher to Bryant Reed, an A&R representative from Layface Records. Bryant was impressed and arranged an audition for Usher with L.A. Reid, LaFace's co-founder. After hearing Usher sing Boys II Men's hit End of the Road, L.A. Reid immediately signed him to a contract with the record label. While preparing for his debut album, Usher faced a major challenge. He lost his voice due to puberty, which made it hard for him to adjust his singing. This worried L.A. Reid, the head of his label, so much that he paused the album and even thought about dropping Usher. Desperate to stay, Usher convinced the label to give him another chance. Not sure how to handle the situation, Reid sent Usher to New York in 1994 to stay with record executive Puff Daddy for what he called Flavor Camp. While Usher adapted to Puff Daddy's extravagant lifestyle, he described that time as the toughest period in his life, saying he had to knuckle up and figure things out in New York. On the other hand, American singer Jaguar Wright claimed and revealed that Sean Diddy Combs had been trying to gain control over Justin Bieber when he was young. Diddy was struggling to get a hold of the young singer until Usher stepped in. According to Wright, Usher helped the now disgraced mogul as he took over the management and then handed Bieber to Diddy for 48 hours. Wright on the microblogging site in which she divulged that Usher helped Diddy gain control over young Bieber. Wright said in the video, Diddy had been trying to get Bieber for a minute, but his Bieber management was trying to back him off. But it wasn't until Usher took over management and had guardianship and gave the temporary guardianship to Diddy for 48 hours. Think about that, she continued. He's already been to the hospital, that situation Jean was talking about, and you still took Bieber there. The situation here was referred to Diddy being accused of grooming Usher by his ex-bodyguard. She added, you, referring to Usher, got the custody first, and Diddy had already tried. They wouldn't let him. A video, which is still there on Justin Bieber YouTube account, describes how P. Diddy tries to gift a Ferrari to teenage Justin. To the camera, Diddy says, he's having 48 hours with Diddy, where we hanging out and what we're doing we can't really disclose. But it's definitely a 15-year-old's dream. I have been given custody of him. He's signed to Usher when he did his first album. I don't really have legal guardianship of him, but for the next 48 hours, he's with me, and we're gonna go buck fool crazy, he continues. But after some time, it appears Justin later distanced himself, intentionally or not, that is unknown, from Diddy, judging by another resurfaced clip of an uncomfortable encounter between the pair, years after the 48 hours clip was filmed. In the video, the two shake hands with Justin saying he's all good before Diddy probes again. Everything's good, selling out arenas and everything. He can then be heard saying, starting to act different, huh? You ain't been calling me and hanging out the way we used to hang out. This is evident in Justin's body language that he is not comfortable with meeting P. Diddy this time. He also gives his wrong number to Diddy to save himself. Diddy's parties were, and still bizarre. This is evident from the fact this is what his bathroom had when the raid was conducted. Baby oil mystery. The indictment, which includes accusations of arson, bribery, kidnapping, and obstruction of justice, centers on what prosecutors refer to as freak-offs, elaborate and produced sex performances involving drugs and recordings, according to a report in the New York Times. Combs' legal team, however, insists these encounters were consensual. According to the 14-page federal criminal indictment, these freak-offs were organized by Combs and his associates in hotel suites filled with baby oil, drugs, and video equipment. Prosecutors allege that participants were coerced, with some requiring intravenous fluids to recover from the multi-day ordeals. The government claims Combs filmed the sessions and used the footage to blackmail participants into silence. Cassie claimed that Combs directed frequent freak-offs, where she was coerced into performing sexual acts, which he filmed. But only after the arrest of P. Diddy, the house search revealed a few shocking things. There were tons of video clips present in the house, and the bathroom was filled with lubricants and 1,000 bottles of Johnson baby oil. To explain why Diddy had 1,000 bottles of baby oil in his bathroom, Diddy's lawyer gave this explanation. I don't think it was 1,000. I think it was a lot, he told the New York Post, before suggesting that Diddy simply likes to stock up on his essentials. I mean, there is a Costco right down the street. I think Americans buy in bulk, as we know. And, you know, these are consensual adults doing what consensual adults do, you know, he added, seemingly referring to the so-called freak-offs Diddy is alleged to have held. Agnifilio added, we can't get so puritanical in this country to think that somehow sex is a bad thing, because if it was, there would be no more people. There is one more weird clip that resurfaced on the internet where P. Diddy is seen thanking Johnson & Johnson, and after the whole scandal came up, we can't look at this thank you speech the same way this time. The tapes and pictures that are being recovered from P. Diddy's house is said to end the careers of many celebrities. However, P. Diddy was not just involved in these sex parties, but he was also suspected of being part of a murder plan to kill Aaliyah, died in 25th August 2001. Left Eye died in 25th April 2002. Tupac Shakur died in 13th September 1996. Kimberly Porter died in November 15th 2018. B.I.G. died in March 9th, 1997, and other few of his Bad Boy members. Jay-Z and Beyonce's involvement. Shockingly, the lyrics which says, she knows, I know she knows, I know she knows, could be heard as an undertone of both Jay-Z's first name, Sean, and Beyonce's last name, Knowles. Diddy and Jay-Z both hail from New York's East Coast, with Diddy from Harlem and Jay-Z from Bed-Stuy. Their friendship solidified in the early 90s as their music careers took off. Despite being business and music competitors, they remained close, even collaborating on tracks. Their bond strengthened further in 1999 when both faced legal trouble. Jay-Z was accused of stabbing Lance Rivera, and Diddy was implicated in a shooting at Club New York. Both avoided jail time, which brought them even closer together. Also, recently videos of celebrities giving shout-outs to Queen Bee, Beyonce, have been trending all over TikTok. Kanye West interrupted Taylor Swift to declare that Beyonce had one of the best albums of all time in 2009 2009 at the MTV VMAs. Adele literally broke her Grammy in half to dedicate it to Beyonce in 2017. The theories went haywire on social media as these clips resurfaced. Why do so many stars, from Lizzo to Lady Gaga to Britney Spears, shower Beyonce with endless praise? Why do they place the spotlight on Beyonce when it's their time to shine at these award shows? Many people speculate that Beyonce's public shoutouts are tied to her and Jay-Z's long-standing friendship with P. Diddy, who is currently facing serious charges including conspiracy, racketeering, and sex trafficking. Some TikTokers believe that Beyonce might even be a key figure in a secret cult-like group within the music industry. Even 50 Cent mentioned this. These theories have gained traction on social media, where users connect her high-profile presence with Diddy's recent legal troubles, suggesting there could be more to the story behind their relationship. It is also shocking that Aaliyah, who was known to be the queen of urban pop, had close relations with both Jay-Z and Beyonce, and sources also say that Jay-Z clearly wants Aaliyah when she was underage. To this date, Aaliyah's death seems like a mystery, even though it was clearly stated as accident. On August 25, 2001, at 6:50 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, Aaliyah and members of her record label boarded a twin-engine Cessna 402 at Marsh Harbor Airport in the Bahamas. They were headed to Opa-locka Airport in Florida after wrapping up the filming of the Rock the Boat music video. Though they had a flight scheduled for the next day, the group opted to leave early since filming ended ahead of time. The plane they boarded was smaller than the one they had initially flown in, but everyone and the equipment were still loaded on board. Tragically, the plane crashed just 200 feet from the runway, catching fire shortly after takeoff. But the twist in the story is, according to a bombshell new book on her life, R&B singer and actress Aaliyah didn't want to board the flight that cost the rising star her life. After remaining silent for decades, an eyewitness has alleged that the singer was given a sleeping pill and carried, unconscious, onto the suspect aircraft before her fatal 2001 crash in the Bahamas. The shocking allegation was dropped in a new biography, Baby Girl, better known as Aaliyah, by music journalist Cassie. They took her out of the van. She didn't even know she was getting boarded on a plane, stated Kingsley Russell, 33, who was with Aaliyah, full name Aaliyah Dana Houghton, just before the fateful flight, the Daily Mail reported. She went on the airplane asleep. Aaliyah, who was known to be a nervous flyer, reportedly hesitated to board the plane after being told it was overloaded. The pilot had warned that the aircraft would be difficult to handle with 8 passengers, including Aaliyah's 300-pound bodyguard, along with their luggage and equipment, according to the Daily Beast. It was later revealed by the New York Times that the plane had exceeded its weight limit by several hundred pounds, with the weight unevenly distributed, making it hard to control in the air. Additionally, a 2002 toxicology report revealed that the pilot had faked his license and was under the influence of alcohol and during the crash. It is kind of evident that the so-called accident was framed to eliminate Aaliyah and replace her with the new growing star Beyonce, who was in the starting stage of her career at that time. Is Diddy a killer? Another controversy is related to the death of Tupac Shakur, B.I.G., and Kim Porter, because all 3 of them were related to Diddy. First, let's talk about everyone's favorite and legendary Biggie. Born in Brooklyn, New York, Wallace signed with Sean Puffy Combs' Bad Boy Records in 1993, right as the label was starting up. That year, he gained recognition by featuring on other artists' singles. His debut album, Ready to Die, 1994, was critically acclaimed and included hits like Juicy and Big Papa. This album established him as a key figure in East Coast hip-hop, helping New York regain prominence in the genre, which was then dominated by the West Coast. In 1995, Wallace was named Rapper of the Year by Billboard, and the next year, he led his group, Junior Mafia, featuring friends like Lil' Kim, to chart success. While working on his second album in 1996, Wallace became caught up in the escalating East Coast-West Coast hip-hop rivalry after Tupac Shakur was killed in a drive-by shooting in Las Vegas in September of that year. Speculation arose that Bad Boy Records might have had some connection, fueled by Wallace's well-known feud with Shakur. Just 6 months later, on March 9, 1997, Wallace was also fatally shot in a drive-by in Los Angeles by an unidentified gunman. 2 weeks after his death, his second album, Life After Death, was released as a double album, topping the Billboard 200 and eventually achieving diamond certification in the US. A Rolling Stone expose has brought to light a significant revelation information about Sean Diddy Combs and the notorious B.I.G. According to the report, Biggie was allegedly planning to leave Bad Boy Records just before his death. Several individuals who were interviewed supported this claim, saying that Combs was engaged in a legal battle with Biggie's lawyers as the rapper sought to regain control of his publishing rights. The conflict was so intense that Combs is quoted as saying, "I will never give it up until I'm dead, and my bones are crushed into powder," according to The Big Payback. Photographer Monique Bunn confirmed Biggie's intent to leave, stating that he personally told her. Another source claimed that everyone working with Combs eventually wanted to leave him. Following Biggie's murder in March 1997, Combs reportedly capitalized on the tragedy. He even denied a leave request from LaJoyce Brookshire, the publicity director traveling with Biggie just before his death, insisting that she focus on ensuring the success of Biggie's posthumous album Life After Death. A few months after the notorious B.I.G.'s murder, Rolling Stone offered a cover feature to Bad Boy Records, which co-founder Kirk Burroughs suggested should honor the late rapper. However, Sean Diddy Combs rejected the idea, reportedly saying, "No, he's dead. I'm putting out No Way Out in July. I need to be on the cover of Rolling Stone." As a result, Diddy appeared on the magazine's August 1997 cover, a decision that sparked criticism. Even Death Row Records' Suge Knight, notorious for his violent reputation, found the move distasteful, despite his own controversial history. It seems Diddy tried his best to take the benefit of whatever Biggie had to offer before his death. Tupac Shakur. Moreover, nearly 30 years ago, on September 7, 1996, rapper Tupac Shakur was in a car with Death Row Records boss Suge Knight, heading to a nightclub in Las Vegas. As they stopped at a red light near the Strip, a white Cadillac pulled up next to them. According to Las Vegas prosecutors, Orlando Baby Lane Anderson, a member of the Southside Compton Crips, didn't have a clear shot, so he passed the gun to DeAndre Big Dre Smith, who then opened fire. Tupac was fatally wounded, and Knight was also injured. In the fall of 2023, Dwayne Keefe D. Davis, a gang leader and the last living person allegedly in the car during the shooting, was charged with Tupac's murder. In a 2009 interview, Davis admitted to being involved in the killing and made claims about Sean Diddy Combs, alleging that Combs once said he wanted Suge Knight dead and was upset with Tupac for taunting him. In another past interview with authorities noted as part of the case, Davis more specifically claimed Combs solicited him to kill Knight and Shakur. The DEA and U.S. Department of Justice report about a 2008 interview with Davis says Davis claimed Combs said he needed to get rid of Knight and Shakur and offered Davis $1 million to handle the problem. Combs has long vehemently denied any role in the shooting, and a public information officer for the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department told People on July 24th, Sean Combs has never been considered a suspect in the Tupac Shakur homicide investigation. He has never been charged in connection to the murder. In the 2009 police interview, Davis said he obtained a .40 caliber Glock firearm from drug trafficking associate Eric Zip Martin. Homicide detective Dan Long asked Davis, Puffy Combs, does he play a role in this thing? Yeah, I think he did, Davis responded. That's what we think. That's word on the street. In the voluntary interview, Davis recalled that Diddy was terrified of Knight. Davis claimed that in front of a group of about 45 men, Combs allegedly said, "Man, I would give anything for that dude's head," referring to Knight. He was real scared of the guy, Davis continued. He said that S in front of everybody. Was Combs implying that he would pay to have it done? Davis's attorney asked. Yeah, Davis responded. He said it. At the 1995 Source Awards in New York, Suge Knight publicly took a jab at Sean Diddy Combs, without mentioning his name directly. While on stage, Knight said, "Any artist out there that want to be an artist and stay a star, and don't have to worry about the executive producer trying to be all in the videos, all on the record, dancing, come to Death Row." This was a direct mockery of Diddy's habit of adding his ad-libs to songs and frequently appearing in music videos of bad boy artists. The comment fueled the tension between Death Row Records and Bad Boy Records, which was already intense due to the East Coast-West Coast rivalry. Did Puffy have any problems with Tupac? Detective Long asked Davis in 2009. Tupac told Diddy he's a F.T. and all that S. Davis replied, claiming Combs had said, "Yeah, F that dude." After Tupac Shakur was shot 5 times in a 1990 1994 ambush at Quad Studios in Times Square. He suspected that Sean "Diddy" Combs and the Bad Boy Records crew had set him up, although Combs has consistently denied these accusations. Tensions escalated when Diddy released the notorious B.I.G.'s track "Who Shot Ya" the following year. While the song was reportedly not directed at Shakur, many saw it as a taunt, intensifying the East Coast-West Coast feud. In response, Tupac fired back with his infamous diss track "Hit 'Em Up," directly targeting Biggie and escalating the rivalry even further. This can be easily analyzed that Diddy was somewhere related to the murder, even though there are speculations regarding the exchange of money that he promised to the killers. The tragic death of Kim Porter. Jaguar was not wrong in this interview. Andre Harrell, who founded Uptown Records in 1986, died from heart attack. Al B. sure is in coma and been recovering from liver transplant since 2023. Heavy D's death was initially linked to pneumonia. However, a later autopsy report released on December 27, 2011, clarified that the cause of death was a pulmonary embolism, which occurred due to a blood clot that had formed in his leg and traveled to his lungs. It was also revealed that he had heart disease, which likely contributed to his passing. But Kim was still alive even though she was related to everyone who were dying. But how was she related to them? Kim Porter appeared in several music videos and worked as a receptionist at Uptown Records. She was hired by Andre Harrell, the founder of the record label, which played a significant role in shaping her early career in the music industry. Kim Porter had a son named Quincy Brown with singer A.L.B. Shure. They were married from 1989 until the early 90s. Following that, she had an on-and-off relationship with Sean Combs from 1994 to 2007. Together, they had 3 children, son Christian Combs and twin daughters Jessie and Delilah Combs. In 2023, Sean Combs honored Kim with a tribute song titled "Kim Porter" on his album, The Love Album, Off the Grid, featuring Babyface and John Legend. However, in 2018, Kim was found by Los Angeles officials to have died of pneumonia at her home in Toluca Lake on November 15th after suffering from flu-like symptoms in the days before. "She had the flu and she sent the kids over to my house so they wouldn't get sick," Diddy said in an interview with Essence. "One night I was checking on her and she was like, 'Puffy, take care of my babies.' She actually said that to me before she died." But in an interview back in April, Donald Trump Jr., son of the former president, revealed his ex-wife Vanessa Kay had been friends with Kim and wildly questioned her official cause of death. "Not a lot of people die at 47 of pneumonia, and I'm not trying to fuel any kind of rumor, but that's a conversation I had with someone who knew her well," he told the Academics podcast. On September 6th of this year, shortly before Diddy's arrest for sex trafficking, a controversial book titled Kim's Lost Words was released. Publisher Chris Todd claims the memoir was derived from a thumb drive of writings shared by Kim Porter with her close friends. However, he has not provided any documentary evidence to verify the book's authenticity, leading many to believe it may be a fabrication. The situation surrounding the memoir has generated significant skepticism in the media. In the supposed memoir, Diddy is described as a terrifying monster who threatened Kim with a gun and first hit her for refusing to take part in a sex act. The final entry of the 60-page book says Kim texted her friends, "He got me," when she fell gravely ill. Kim's ex Al B, Sure, and her best friend Ebony Electra have both said the memoir is fake. The speculations yet stands on the weak ground that Diddy may have killed his ex-wife Kim Porter. But looking at the Cassie case, where CCTV footage released by CNN in May had shown Diddy kicking and dragging his ex-girlfriend Cassie Ventura through a hotel corridor, clearly shows that Diddy was used to physical violence and sexual violence, which also leads to the speculations that he may or may not have done the same with Kim. Who is the new Diddy?
Sean Carter is worse.
Uh-oh.
Oh, man.
He's smarter. He's patient. He's not sloppy.
Even after such a long and close friendship with Diddy, Jay-Z is not ready to step in to save his friend from the allegations, which further encouraging their rivals to pick on their unusual behavior. The biggest hater of both Diddy and Jay-Z is 50 Cent. 50 Cent and P. Diddy have been part of the same musical circles for years, making it hard to determine when their feud began. Some suggest it may have started in 2006 when Diddy refused to release Mace from his Bad Boy contract, preventing him from joining 50 Cent's SG unit. After this, 50 Cent dropped a diss track titled Hip Hop, hinting that Diddy had knowledge of who was responsible for the murder of the notorious B.I.G., a close friend of Diddy and a bad boy artist, who was killed in a drive-by shooting in 1997. Although the two appeared to reconcile, even performing together with Jay-Z a year later, 50 Cent later admitted in multiple interviews that Diddy made him uncomfortable. In a recently resurfaced 8-year-old clip from the Drink Champs podcast, which contains homophobic undertones, 50 Cent shared an incident involving Diddy at a mutual friend's wedding. He claimed that Diddy's behavior made him uncomfortable when Diddy allegedly invited him on a shopping trip, seemingly offering to spend a significant amount of money on him, which 50 Cent found unsettling. On top of it, Curtis 50 Cent Jackson is sharing more details about his upcoming Netflix docuseries on Sean Diddy Combs. The rapper and businessman is set to produce a documentary on Diddy, which he first announced before his rival was arrested and indicted on racketeering, sex trafficking, and transportation to engage in charges. In a joint statement with director and co-producer Alexandria Stapleton, 50 Cent said the docuseries would have significant human impact. 50 Cent shared a post on social media of a Variety news report describing the documentary as a complex narrative spanning decades, and added the caption, "I've been telling y'all about all this weird I don't do no puffy parties. You didn't believe me, but I bet you believe me now. The mystery keeps getting juicier, from uncovering 200 sex tapes to folks disappearing and distancing themselves from Diddy, and even using the case to drop their own docuseries. There's plenty more drama on the way in the coming weeks. So buckle up. Let us know in the comments which jaw-dropping Diddy rumor left you the most stunned. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button on Sinister Syndicate for all your true crime updates.